Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo, and I am here for flowers, rainbows, sunshine, and happy times, aka Oyasumi Punpun. We are on Omnibus Volume 4. I don't know what actual volume or chapter we're on. We'll find out as soon as we get into it. We ended off on a harsh note. We did a little time skip, and the bits of cancer that Mama Punpun's doctor found during her pneumothorax treatment turned out to be the real deal. She went into treatment, went into misery, and went into death, and did so with some grace and some horrible things. She left Punpun with the words, "I love you," but he didn't know if he even felt it back. Fuck. Or actually, I think, let me go and check. Hold on. Punpun didn't love his mother, even at the very end. Yep. And of course, Papa Punyama Papa is about to arrive, I think. Which is some crazy shit that he shows up immediately after this. So that's where we're leaving off. Yuichi's around, Midori's around, Punpun is around these people who he's very alone, let's just say. Papa Onodera is coming back from who fucking knows where. Everything that we've known about him has been a lie. All of the letters that Punpun has received have been a lie. And I feel like he might find that out because Punpun Papa might show up, and Punpun might be like, "Hey, Dad, I got all your letters. What the fuck have you been doing?" And his dad might go, "What letters, kiddo? I haven't sent you shit. I've been off cavorting in Vegas or something." What has Punpun Papa actually been up to? I don't fucking know. But he's here now. And that's just another person to get thrown into Punpun's life and potentially make things even more horrifying. Or could be a father who could be useful and could bring stability to the household. I don't fucking know. But it's a big set of changes, and we'll see how it affects our main character and the world we exist in Punpun. As we go right now to go ahead and read some of this. Let me pull up the actual correct volume. And there we are. I think that's Punpun Mama in the front cover, which is interesting. Or maybe I'm wrong. No, I was seeing I'm dumb. He's wearing headphones like me. That's probably Punpun himself, just wearing headphones, probably on a train or something with these other characters around him. Okay. Good night, Punpun. Good night, Punpun. Oh boy, arrows going downward. Well, that's good. That's not ominous at all. Cast of characters. The story thus far, nothing to speak of. Well, about that, I don't know, man. Cast of characters. Punpun Onodera. Punpun of the Onoderas. Well, he's no longer a Choco Pie-loving boy, so that sucks. Well, I guess that's the last gasp of his innocence, goes away when his mother dies. I doubt it. I think he's going to be pretty naive still. Yuichi Onodera, Punpun's uncle. Nothing else. Midori Onodera, Yuichi's wife. Nothing else. Yukinoshin Mimura, a legendary giant reborn after 300 years. Yes, I'm sure he is. What the fuck is this? The last time we had a cast of characters, it was like 20. And we've pared it down to 4, and one of them is the weird friend from school. Also, I'm an idiot. Whenever they said Onoti, I didn't realize that was a diminutive for Onodera. I just didn't click with it. I thought it was a different person. But that's what it meant. So I get the rest of the back chapter now, and when I was going through it, editing it, I realized my mistake. Okay, so this is our cast of characters. The city goes on. Okay, city life. Big stuff. Cool. Driver, can you let me off here? You sure? It'll be a bit of a walk. Yeah, I need to compose myself. I don't think that's what cicadas sound like, but fine. That's got to be Papa, right? We see the mustache and the bags. That's Papa, and here he is, and this is the location, and there's the apartment. It was sunny all over the country that day, and in Punpun's town, it was an extremely hot 99 degrees Fahrenheit. It was the highest temperature of the summer. Oh God, I wish. It still hasn't crossed the 100 barrier where I am. It's been 90s recently, and that's pretty hot enough, but it will be over 99 for our hottest day of the year, 100%. The chorus of elementary school kids excited by summer vacation mingled with the sound of the cicadas. Yep, lots of loud clamoring of various kinds. Punpun disliked the summer, and winter was cold, so he didn't like it either. That's right. In short, he was very unhappy with right now. There were lots of other things he should have been thinking about, but all he was concerned about was the weather and the seasons. That's Midori at the window, okay? Punpun seems down. He doesn't show it, but he's suffering. Really? I don't think so. Punpun! She gives this look. Then, Punpun, here. I wasn't sure if I should give it to you. It was in your mom's bag. It was the usual pointless letter that Punpun got from his dad every month. But unlike usual, this letter didn't have a stamp or a return address. Dear Punpun. She just tells him? Dear Punpun, I am really sorry for lying to you all this time. Pretending to be your dad and lying to you was the only way I could meddle. Please forgive me for being selfish. Mom. Even... Do you really have to give him that letter? You're so crass. But even at the very end, Punpun couldn't love his mother. And the hand reaches out. Oh, hello. Sorry for just showing up. It's Punyama. I didn't know you were coming, so we only have coffee and tea. And he's blah, blah, blah. Oh no, whatever you have is fine. Don't go to any trouble. And Punpun's still out. No, Punpun's inside. There he is. Don't go to any trouble. Well, I'm impressed, Yuichi. Your girlfriend, Akane, is a real looker. Mr. Punyama? It's Midori, not Akane. Is Akane the name of his ex? I don't remember. I just don't remember. And we just told you we got married. Yeah, so there's this like silent tension in the room immediately. We just told you. Oh, wow. Of course you told me. Sorry, I've gotten so forgetful. Is he like a salesman or something? Like, that's how he's acting. He's acting like a bad door-to-door salesman. Trying to be very likable. Just anxious and low confidence. Which makes sense in this circumstance. I mean, he's only had the guts to show up once his wife is dead, right? Jeez. Okay. Well, you know. Punpun, you're so grown up. You must be 3 times bigger. As if. Not. So, how's high school? Are you getting any? Dad, I haven't seen you in years. The last time I saw you was when you were in there was a domestic violence dispute between you and Mom, and you left, and you were the one to blame. Like, what? Are you getting any is how you start? What? Oh my god. Like I need to ask, you're such a go-getter, Punpun. Why, when I was your age, I was going at it so much with an older woman that my dick never had a chance to dry. Mr. Punyama, are you still working in Fukushima? Oh, yeah, I quit the night watchman job. Now I'm working for a friend in social services. You know, I'm just an old man from the country now. The stars are so beautiful out there. You should come visit Akane. What? You should come visit Akane. Fukushima is a really nice place. Punpun didn't like this at all. His father neglecting him for years wasn't that big of a deal. Punpun wanted to be open-minded about adults and their own twisted problems. Excuse me, could we get some more coffee here, waiter? Ha ha! Fuck. His dad's appearance, his voice, his demeanor, nothing had changed much. He was the same funny, kind dad he'd always been, but the poisonous sense of wrongness was so painful that Punpun kept observing his dad in the hopes of figuring out why. I see. Punpun figured out what had changed the most. Yes, it's the skating over all of the tension. It's the unwillingness to face what's really going on. I see this a lot in people. A lot in families. Haha! I think it's a misinterpretation. People think that, like, I don't know. People think that being the Rock means being unswayed. You know, this idea of being the Rock in a situation or a family or something. I think it's a good thing to aspire to. I think it's really valuable to be somebody who is unmoved by the emotions or passions of a situation, especially when there's like a fight present or a disagreement or anything like that with tension. It's really crucial to be able to be unmoved by that. But I think a lot of people do that by just pretending that nothing is wrong and hoping that that will make things go away. You know, they'll get into a fight with a friend, and then the next time they see each other, they'll just act as though nothing has happened, and they'll hope that they'll act as though nothing has happened instead of addressing the the thing that was an issue or the ongoing thing that was an issue. It's not the same. It's not the same. Being stable and being unswayed by these things is not the same as laughing them off or just dismissing them or deflecting them. And that's what I see in Punyama Papa, is this like this cheery attitude that he brings in is continuing to neglect his neglect, right? If he had come to the door like, hi, I know that you weren't expecting to see me. I don't deserve anything from you, but I'm here to talk. That could be a very different situation than when he just breezes in and then starts making jokes about being demanding, right? He's making this joke of like, haha, coffee shop, haha, you're the waiter, haha, hee hee, ho ho. It's weird. And the way that he keeps missing the names is, I don't know, it's dickish. We'll see what Punpun comes up with as his figured out what had changed the most. Geez, I mistook this for a coffee shop. I'm sorry, Akane, could I have another cup? I'll put the kettle on. And by the way, it's Midori. It was himself. True. Punpun figured out what had changed the most. Right. So this is clearly how Punyama Papa was before, right? And I think probably, I mean, we know what happened on that night, but to some extent, that was part of the fights that they probably had. I don't know. But this is how he was before, I'm sure. Just, happy, fun-loving, play baseball instead of dealing with problems, or watch baseball on TV, talk about the game, talk about fun stuff. Even when he's doing the talk with Punpun about the telescope and stuff, that's all about this idea of looking far, far away from yourself and looking for change in the impossible, in the distance, as opposed to looking inward, or looking at those around you. And it was in a circumstance where something had happened, I don't remember what, in the beginning, and then it was like an escape from that. It was a deflection from that again. It's like, this is his MO. This is how he lives his life. And in some ways, it's how Punpun is growing up to live his life too, right? Not facing the difficulties head on, running away from a lot of things, deflecting a lot of things. And often in circumstances where stuff goes wrong, we get, ha 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 ha, silly laughy Punpun to try to deflect and be a clown and like bring ridicule upon himself before ridicule can be brought upon him. Maybe I'm projecting because some of this stuff is stuff that I do, I suppose. But maybe I'm actually on the mark. I don't know. But the idea that this is who Punpun Papa was, and now it's Punpun growing older and having seen a little bit more, realizes how thin a facade it really is, that makes sense to me. So we go from above. Well then, okay, I need to go to work in the morning, so I can't stay long. It's so hot today. It's like the summer that year. So, listen to me, Punpun. I want you to understand this. I'm really nervous right now, but this isn't a spur-of-the-moment kind of thing. Punpun. Or is he gonna ask him to move with him? Do you want to come live with me in Fukushima? We can have a new beginning, just the two of us. Okay. So maybe I will take back some of what I've said. It makes sense. That sort of action makes sense in the context of him just being really nervous about this circumstance. But it's change. It's change, though. So here's the question, though. What are Punpun's actual legal options? Because Midori and Yuichi, they're not going to own this house, this apartment, right? They might. I don't know. Can Punpun legally live here on his own? I think that in Japan he probably can. But probably he would end up in guardianship of either Yuichi or Midori. Probably Yuichi, because that's how it was working earlier before, right? But Yuichi and Midori probably want to go live on their own. Punpun doesn't have a lot of options, does he? Interesting. Will he choose a new beginning? It's change, though. Change is hard. It does seem enticing, doesn't it? Let's see what Punpun thinks. We've always been such good friends, right, Punpun? Ding. Everyone else in the room. It's not that bad. Fukushima is very laid back. A slight angle to everything in that next frame is a little unsettling. Ding, the whole room. Of the cicadas. Midori standing there defensive. Body language wise, crossing the one arm over and gripping. That's defensive. Yuichi's been completely uncaring throughout all of this. I wonder if that will last. Punpun wasn't sure what the person sitting in front of him was saying. Wanted a new beginning, but what did he even mean by that? Punpun thought that this guy was full of it. True. I'm going to live on my own. Midori smiles a little bit. Interesting. Okay. Right. I understand. Yuichi, did you make this cup? You still got it. Not really. Ha ha ha. Wow, he said that? Fucker. Yeah. I see. So there it is again, right? There's the deflection. He just gets told no by his son. He just journeyed here to ask his son to live with him, and he just got told no by his son, right? No, I'd rather live on my own than live with you. We're not friends. I don't even know you. Which is true and fair and valid. But he like, oh, right, I understand. And then immediately we get his beat going wiggly wobbly, and he's looking around. Yuichi, did you make this cup? You still got it. Not really. Ha ha ha. Right. Yeah, I see. But really, I mean, Punpun, you've really grown. You must be 3 times bigger. As if, oh, I said that already. Jeez. Well, never mind. Okay, let's get together again sometime. Never gonna happen, right? No matter how big you get, I'm still your dad. Punpun. Later, alligator. And he walks away, clenches his fist, and you can see tears brimming in his eyes. Fuck. Wham! Wham! Oh, it's Punpun. Against the door. Midori just watches. Every single one of these is slightly angled. Every one of these outdoor shots. Slightly angled from the frame. It's awesome. Lying down, lying down. Room full of stuff. Knock, knock. Yuichi stands there. Let's, take a little walk. On days like this, even I get sentimental. How long has it been since we just walked? The 2 of us. You know, I've thought for a long time that you and I are alike, Punpun. I think I can understand your frustration. People are too selfish. Your sister, your dad, and me too, of course. But your dad is sincere deep down, so don't think too badly of him, okay? You don't need to pity him. He doesn't want that either. Most things that happen in life are of our own making. Yup. Bingo. Deflect, deflect, deflect. Never look inward. Look toward external things instead of the internal. None of that stuff works. You reap what you sow, right? Punpun, what's the most important aspect of being human? Money, dreams, consideration for others? All that can be worthwhile, of course, but the most important thing is resolve. So, willpower. Okay. I see where he's going with it, but we'll talk about it. When you said you were going to live alone, I was honestly thrilled. Really, my dick got all twisted up. I won't say a thing about your decision. Whether you become a hikikomori or a murderer, it's nothing of my business. But if you do, and you blame it on other people or your situation, then I'll cut you down with a samurai sword. Listen closely, you little shit. Life's surprisingly full of freedom. But don't forget, boy, with freedom comes responsibility. Indeed. Okay, better speech than I thought would come from Yuichi here. Oh, fucking shit. The first time I came in Midori, most of what made me, me, died. When I decided to marry Midori, we told each other everything. So, I know what happened with you two. Whoa! But I wasn't angry. I can even say that I love you. Punpun gives him a cigarette. I think life is so interesting. There isn't a second wasted in being alive. Even a worthless piece of garbage like me can sometimes feel like that. That's how I get through today, and every other ordinary day. Dreaming of the day Midori ends my life. What the fuck? Sounds like you got a fun relationship with Midori right now, dude. At least you're honest with each other, I suppose. Punpun, where are you planning to die? I like that. I've said before that I'm a fan of using mortality in the present. It's helpful. God, there's a lot here. Okay. And when it happens, will your life have been worth it? Even better. Even better. This shit from I guess that night on the dock really hit him hard, huh? those conversations really got to him. That's pretty cool. That's some serious development for Muichi. Whether he can actually live it himself or not, I think he's right. That's what's interesting about it to me. He might not be able to follow through with it. He might see himself as too old and too calcified, but he still thinks he can pass it on to Punpun and maybe save him some of the grief that he's experienced. That's pretty interesting. Will your life have been worth it? Think, Punpun, and agonize, then make up your mind for yourself. Even if you don't understand, as long as you strive to understand, you can just about hang on to who you are. The boring daily grind, the useless scenery, you're the only one who can change it. So, Punpun, as long as you remain you, the cigarette smoke dispersed listlessly and melted into the sunset. The world is yours. As if to confirm that he could never go back, Punpun breathed the smoke in deeply. Next frame, he's coughing. Nope. Because that's what happens. Jeez, first time cigarette. Bad times. Holy shit. Holy shit, Yuichi. I didn't think you had this in you. The depth or false depth of age, I suppose. I guess, 18-year-old me didn't think that 28-year-old me would be talking about my own philosophies on the internet, so fair enough. Maybe it's useful and maybe it's drivel, and I don't know the difference, and maybe I won't until I'm 38. And maybe then I'll have different ideas, and maybe I won't know if those are accurate until I'm 48. It's a way to think, at least. There's a lot here. It's kind of muddled. Like, there isn't a specific argument. I would suppose that life is so interesting is one of those arguments. And the other argument, I suppose, is that the most important thing in a human life is resolve, is willpower. Not even actually resolve. Not actually even willpower, necessarily. Resolve is different. Because you resolve to accomplish something. Willpower is the thing that keeps you going back to doing it. But I think he's right that the act of resolving to accomplish something is the more important part than the actual doing it consistently. I know that sounds crazy, but I do think it is true. Because you won't be doing it at all if you don't resolve to do it. And if you resolve to do it, then at least you'll do it sometimes. Or at least you'll or you'll hate yourself for not doing it, which is usually enough of motivation to do it. When you swear an oath to yourself and then break it, it breaks you real bad. It really sucks. Same with lying to yourself, of course. But when you swear an oath to yourself and then you break it, that's a bad one, man. That's a bad one. That's how you lose yourself. I think. There is this powerful thrust of individualism. At least that's what I'm going to call it. There might be a better word for it, but I'm going to use that one. Of individualism here. Most things that happen in life are of our own making. You reap what you sow. And that means that what you have power. It's the most freeing realization in some ways. You have power. Power to choose. Power to do what you can with your day, with your life, with every minute, every second, every hour. You have the power of speech. You have the power of thought. You have the power to plan. All of these things are worthwhile as long as you have a goal in mind. Again, if you don't have a goal in mind, they all are worthless, right? Because power flailed around meaninglessly is just chaos, and you're just contributing to the chaos that's extant. The world exists in chaos already. Order isn't a natural thing. Not really. There's some cool order in nature, and a lot of it's really awesome. Crystals form in geometric patterns. Flowers bloom in geometric patterns. There are cycles to everything. There are ways that everything works. But by and large, chaos is the nature of things before conscience, before sapience. So, your sapience is your ability to understand and create order, and your physical features and your ability to speak are the way that you can do that. You can create order by speech. You can, and I don't necessarily mean that order is the highest good. I'm just using it as a stand-in for creating whatever you want. But usually whatever you create is more ordered than the chaos that you get from it. A bookshelf is more ordered than the wood that it came from. A book is more ordered than a scattering of words. A speech or a video like this is more ordered than nothing. And that's something. That's absolutely something. And it is your ability to do that. So, one great pursuit before you understand your pursuits, and I think it's what most young people, self-included, should dedicate themselves to, is to extend your reach as far as possible. Literally power. And there are dangers in power, many of them, but as long as you are finding power for yourself, like, increasing your ability to affect things as opposed to power over others necessarily. Your physical prowess, your ability to move and move other things around you and organize the world physically around you. That's a power. That's a type of power. Your ability to read and incorporate new information, your vocabulary, your ability to turn that information into other information and speak it. That's power as well. If you can read a bunch of books and distill from them the core ideas and then use those and paraphrase them in a way that other people can understand, you've created an immense amount of value and power by doing so. And you've empowered your own speech to be more eloquent and more powerful and more valuable and more useful. Those things allow you to reap, they allow you in this context to sow more, and if you sow more, you can reap more. So if you don't know what the end game goal is, perhaps the thing that you should seek is the ability to accomplish greater goals, even if you don't know what those goals might be. Does that make sense? Like, imagine yourself at 16, not knowing what you're going to do with your life. Perhaps the most admirable thing that you can do is make yourself healthy and well-read and smart as you can be, and do logic puzzles and do other puzzles and socialize with people and learn how to socialize with people and get training in as many things as you possibly can and become competent and good at as many things as you possibly can. And in that process, you'll probably find something that's worth being a goal, and then you'll have the power, at least some of it, to accomplish that goal. And so you can put that off into the future a little bit, and that's really, really good, I think. And it's a great answer, because the first thing that a lot of people ask when they're like, well, what do I do, though, in order to change the world around me? It seems so helpless. It seems so hopeless. Well, yeah, of course, because you feel helpless and hopeless. So your first goal is to make yourself unhelpless and unhopeless. Start going to the gym, start reading more, start writing, start speaking, start talking to people, do more. And that usually works, I think. What's the most important aspect of being a human? Money, dreams, consideration for others, all of that can be worthwhile, of course, but the most important thing is resolve. Yeah, so deeply individualist and deeply willpower focused. There is an issue with this, though. I think it's a core and fundamental issue with this line of thinking, and with this sort of manifest destiny, every man for themselves sort of style of thought. You can accomplish anything as long as you are resolved to do it. That's not true. It's not true. It's never been true, and it's certainly not true now. There are severe limitations on lots and lots of people that prevent them from accomplishing certain things. The easiest ones are the physical and mental limitations that are inherent, right? Some people are born not that fast, not that strong. Some people are born not that bright, not that quick, not that, they don't have that great sight. We have the ability to compensate for a lot of those things, and technology allows us to do it, and that's awesome. It means more people are able to utilize their resolve and willpower in effective ways, and that's awesome. I love it. It's great. But it's still true. There are differences between people, and in an even a just society, those differences will turn themselves into differences in capabilities, in possibilities, in opportunities even. Somebody who's got an ultra high ability to incorporate, I won't use the word IQ, but ability to incorporate rote information and perform mathematical problems. It could be a rocket scientist or an aerospace engineer, and somebody who can't. We all know this. This is true and factual. So when you tell people all that matters is resolve and you can be anything, it comes back to the same problems we had when we got that first situation where people told Punpun, like, write down what you want to be. You can be anything. Well, you can dream of being anything, but you're not going to be anything. The chances that Punpun is going to actually be smart enough to be a space scientist are not that high. Now, he did get good grades for a while, and so maybe he could have pursued that dream, and that could be really cool for him. But the chances aren't that high. It's possible, and it's even possible based on his resolve. But if Punpun were, 10% less intelligent, it wouldn't be in the realm of possibility anymore, right? It simply wouldn't be possible anymore. And so there's this little issue with this thing, which I think is accurate and I think is really helpful in a lot of ways. I think this idea that resolve and willpower, doing what you need to, freedom containing responsibility, the ability to choose, all of these things are awesome and wonderful and powerful and valuable. and really good to tell somebody about. But there is a problem, which is that if they don't have the innate these only get you up to your own level. They only get you up to where you actually are. They only allow you to fulfill your talents. And to be fair, that's as well as any of us can do. But the problem with them that I see is that they have the chance of instilling this false hope that you could transcend your talents. And I don't know if that's necessarily true. I think it could be. It could be. But I don't think it's necessarily true. I think if you're physically built so that you've got, you know, the ratio of your femurs and your tibias to your torso is a certain way, you're never going to be a great sprinter. Ever. It's never going to happen. Likewise, if you're built a different certain way, you're never going to be a great Olympic weightlifter. It's just not going to happen. The leverages that you have are different. They make you not as good at that thing. And so to tell somebody that willpower will get you the difference is patently false. But willpower might make you as fast as you could ever be. So as long as you're content with getting as good as you could ever be, willpower can fill in those gaps. And that's pretty cool. It's fucking awesome, actually. It's just scary to bring up that false hope again, because this world of Punpun is full of almost every character that we've seen. I mean, Yuichi, Punpun, and Mama have all done the same thing in their youth. We've seen it in each of them. Each of them goes, maybe I'll be something great one day when I grow up. And then Mama is like, I have a feeling I'm cut out for something awesome, something special. And all her friends go, yay, yes, you are, absolutely. And Punpun's thinking the same idea, right? And then they shoot for the stars and land like 3 feet away and explode. Like an RPG that just sort of plops out of a tube, you know? Fuck. Doesn't work. But I still think it's right and wrong what Yuichi says here. I don't know. I'm going to keep it going. I like Yuichi's tense here. The way that he speaks is actually kind of amazing, how blunt and straightforward he is. And I actually appreciate it from him. I don't know if Punpun does. It's a harsh mirror to the way that we get this sort of bluntness from the father, right? The whole waiter thing is one thing, but then he does this other like hypersexualized thing. Haha, you're getting any like I need to ask. You're such a go-getter. Haha, my dick never had a chance to try. That's one thing. And then Yuichi's speech of like, my dick got all twisted up when you said this shit. You gonna live on your own, kid? Good for you. You made my balls ache. Yeah. It's like, it's funny. It's funny and it's goofy, and it actually bridges that gap into feeling familiar, feeling like family. Literally in the word, right? As opposed to the way that Punpun Papa does it, which does not feel that way to me. Whether you do any of whatever, it's none of my business, but if you do, and you blame it on other people or your situation, then I'll cut you down with a samurai sword. A little facetious, but the point is made, right? Listen closely, you little shit. I like that too. It's goofy, and it's fun, and I guess, I mean, maybe a little abusive verbally, technically, but in a familiar way. There's like a shoulder bump implied in it. It's like, yo, little shit, but it's with love. It's clearly with love. Maybe, again, abusive and horrifying, but still with love. All right, don't forget, boy, with freedom comes responsibility. Life is surprisingly full of freedom. Yeah, it is. It's a very scary thing to realize. You can really do almost anything that you want. Except transcend your goals, or transcend your actual capabilities. But within the bounds of those capabilities are almost everything. And if you can push those boundaries further, your freedom expands. That's a great, as good an argument as any for self-improvement. The boundaries of what you are capable of are your only boundaries, and you can expand them largely. In most ways, they can be expanded. I think even though what I said about, there are innate differences between people is true, I think almost nobody actually, stretches their boundaries, their abilities, to the point of their limits, Very few people who think they're fast ever train as though they're trying to become the fastest person on the planet. Very few people who think they're strong actually train well, that's not true. In strength training, there are a lot of people who try to be really, really strong, and it's the same thing in running and things like that. But, people who are smart, so few people who think of themselves as intelligent go and actively seek out more knowledge to expand the boundaries of their intellect, to expand the playground in which they can think. It's crazy. It's crazy to not do that, right? You've been given this gift of time and life, and it's limited, and you don't spend at least a portion of it making it as efficient and powerful and awesome as it can be. Seems like a silly thing to do. But don't forget, with freedom comes responsibility. Absolutely it does. Absolutely it does. And in a couple of ways. I don't know exactly in what way Yuichi means, because he doesn't elaborate too much on that part. The way that I think of it, and the way that I interpret this and would take it, is with freedom comes responsibility. Freedom is the ability to move in directions, to create change, to do things. And when you do things, you have a responsibility to do as best you can the wise thing, the thing that causes the least harm if possible, the thing that improves the most stuff if possible, but the wise thing, trying not to hurt people. I don't think it's any coincidence that he goes from here into talking about Midori and what she did, because that was an act of freedom for which, in many ways, she has not taken responsibility, and one which hurt other people. It was not the choice to make. It was wrong. And I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, this one, most of what made me died. Okay. We told each other everything, so I know it happened with you two. But I wasn't angry. I can even say that I love you. Not mad at her? I don't know. He's unclear about this, about how he feels about the circumstance. The way he says it implies to me, I infer from it at least. Maybe it's not implied. Maybe I'm just inferring. But I'm inferring that he would be angry at Punpun for sleeping with his girl, is I think what he means. Yikes. He transitions from that into, I think life is so interesting. There isn't a second wasted in being alive. That's how I get through today and every other ordinary day. Dreaming of the day Midori ends my life. He just leaves that one out there. Because they had that swear about killing. Crazy. Punpun, where are you planning to die? He's never even thought of it. And when it happens, will your life have been worth it? That's an important line of questioning. Think and agonize, then make up your mind for yourself. Even if you don't understand, as long as you strive to understand, you can just about hang on to who you are. So Punpun, as long as you remain you, he's crying. I don't know. Don't allow yourself to be changed? That doesn't seem right to me. This part doesn't seem right. Doesn't resonate with me. Holding on to who you are has always been something that I've seen as harrying or a false, almost like a sunk cost fallacy in some ways. Who you are is hard to define in the first place. The way that you are, the way that you act, the memories that found you, the traumas that create you, the good things and the bad. Who you are is who you are is who you are. But I think that trying to desperately to hold on to it in the sea of the world, that seems to be what Yuichi is expressing here, and I disagree. I think change is the nature of growth. Holding on to who you are, that's that stagnation and calcification. But I think what he's trying to get at is that you need a certain level of solidity in order to affect change around you. And I think that's true, and that fits in with the nature of his conversation about resolve, right? If you're able to be swayed by everything, then you can't stand for anything and change it and force the rivers of the world to run in a different direction. Because that's the way that it feels very often, is that your only choice, your only way to change things is to stand in front of a river and be buffeted by its strength and its force for forever until it shifts course. So maybe that's what he's getting at, and that I would agree with, I suppose. The boring daily grind, the useless scenery, you're the only one who can change it. So as long as you remain you, the world is yours. Interesting. I don't know. I think as long as you're capable of both. I think of, it's a weird one, but I think of Symphogear. In the first episode, Kanade tells Tsubasa, a reed in the wind stands where oaks fall, or something to that effect. You know? being able to flex and change and all of that, that is what allows you to remain yourself and to be a self that you can be, that you can be okay with. Your ability to change is everything. Now, maybe that's because perspective-wise, I fall further onto the openness paradigm of things than the conservative or more closed sort of things, which is more about holding on to what you are so that you can create more order, versus openness being more open to chaos in order to create more effective order. So maybe that's just my perspective on it, and that's okay. And hopefully I can share that lens with you without necessarily swaying your opinions. That's the whole point, after all. Fuck, man. This is the first fucking chapter? This is the first fucking chapter of this section? Fuck, man. Okay, we're not going to go on for much longer because my throat is already getting scratchy. But we will go on a little bit longer. Next chapter. This is chapter 79. Oh, that was chapter 69. This is chapter 70. Cool. Well, hey, for nice. Nice. Chapter 69, nice. The sound of the second hand ticking deep in his ear. The alarm clock that would go off at 7:10. Fuck, what a captured moment, waking up before your alarm. The familiar news. A cardigan and a striped scarf. The smell of morning. A group of children going to school, their breath-white plumes. The 7:45 local train. The station platform, a mixture of yawns and sighs. Conversations with no substance. J-pop leaking from headphones. The hectic sound of locker doors. Footsteps running up the stairs. The scratch of pencil on paper. The winter sky. My dick is number 1! Huh? What's up with Mimura? Not sure, but I think he got dumped. The familiar classroom. Huh? Oh, naughty? You're always sleeping these days. So, how's the studying going? Someone's lip balm falling off a desk and rolling across the floor. Indeed, as someone who picked a college that would let me in on the merit of a high school recommendation, I may seem simple to you, but this is just groundwork for my magnificent plan. A comic book in tatters from being shared around. I'm going to build a pyramid in Shibuya. Pyun! Shut up, Mimura. Wait, did he change his hair? I guess he did. Okay, so that's the same guy, just changed hair. An answer sheet, balled up and thrown in the trash. What do you want to do for New Year's Eve? Study. Just study, you idiot. Well, I say that, but I bet I'm going to end up watching the Kohaku competition on TV. Let's decide where to go for our graduation trip. The school roof and coffee-flavored milk in a carton. The after-school silence. The sale bin at the video store. Christmas songs over the store loudspeakers. The 50-cent combat game at the arcade. The hustle and bustle of downtown in December. People, people, people just rushing by. Whoosh. The sound of someone calling his name from behind. There he is. Middle left. And behind? I don't see anyone looking at him. I don't see anyone looking at him at all. Interesting. Loneliness. Freedom. Carrying the black and white stripes with him still. The manga section of the convenience store. Canned coffee with just a little sugar. A very dark room. A cold dinner. How's your cold? Make sure you eat well. I left you some chocolate cake in the fridge since it's almost Christmas. I'll come by next Wednesday. Make sure you buy some rice. P.S. I found this and had to buy it because it's cute. A little panda in a bikini. Fucking weird. The familiar news. The alarm clock set to 7:10. Punpun was doing well today. Oh, shit. I didn't know that. I mean, I was waiting for a one line to bring this all together and and make this have impact. That was not what I expected, but that hit me hard. The number of times in my life where I've found myself in just a cycle. Do a thing, do another thing. Do a thing, waste your time until the sleep comes. Go to sleep. Sleep for long. Wake up. Don't want to wake up. Stay in bed. Sleep for as long as possible. Finally get up. Do some stuff. You know. Follow the pattern if you can. Follow the rituals, follow the routine, be no one. It does seem to correlate with times that I've lived alone. That's true. I don't know if it's necessarily a causation thing, but being around other people is one of the things that keeps you getting up every day, and not being around other people makes it really hard. But this, where it comes together, and just following that cycle and being able to follow it is the difference between not doing well and doing well. Punpun looks at us and the narrator tells us Punpun was doing well today after this deeply depressing, very rote daily grind cycle. Exactly what Yuichi had just told us about, of course. Man. Man. It's easy to hypothesize about the difficulties of life and the ways of reaching your goal as though they were mighty things to slay, mighty beasts, you know? Depression as a mighty beast for you to fight. Progress as a dragon standing in front of the way that you must go. But man, so frequently, the greatest, most terrifying threat is the one that's creeping and subtle and slow. The rote simplicity of having nothing else to do. Of boredom, of loneliness. That's fucking good shit, Asano. Really got me with this one. Really got me, Asano. Very well. And that's the chapter. Good Night Punpun, Part 7, Inio Asano. Huff, 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 huff. Chuck, chuck, huff, 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 huff. Something Urs is trying? I thought you might arrive around now. Good vibrations. How mellow are you to be 15 minutes late? But I might just love you despite that. Actually, I'd like to swallow you whole. What? A round of applause for our new member. Clap, clap, clap. Woof, woof, woof. Oh, nice to meet you. I go by Pow Pow Chanel here. Channel? Pow Pow Channel. My hobby is following tween idols, but I never cross the line. Okay. I hope we get along and have fun. You've become really articulate. When we first met, you were a bit like dehydrated seaweed. Never. Do you think I changed because of you, Pegasus Leader? No way. It's through my own hard work. I applaud you. Clap, clap, clap. Hello, I'm Ecobag. I'm a visiting professor in the agricultural department at the university. I met Pegasus at a modern dance class. May I dance for you today? Yoy, yoy! That's great. No wonder she's our heroine. What the fuck? My name is White Pig. 86. What? And I'm a sales clerk. Did you know that all girls can do a special kind of magic? Wait for my annual summer barbecue. What? I'm called It's Awkward When You Only Have One Battery Left. I work as a web designer and also publish a community newsletter. I would love to discuss ooparts and cryptoid mega-organisms with you. I'm looking up what an oopart is. Out-of-place artifact. Got it. I'm Infinite Love. I'm 26 years old and I work part-time. Contrary to appearances, I'm pretty good at anything sporty. I've been to the National Swimming Championships. I'm Butt Hamburger. I'm going to school to become a voiceover actress. My voice may be annoyingly anime, but it's just how I speak naturally. Sorry about that. Wow, she's fucking cute. It's a problem. I am Guardian Angel. Pottery is my hobby. I have 2 children. Wait, is she she's not the lady? No. Okay. I'm so happy to become friends with someone as young as you. I'm contrary to. I used to be in a gang and got into loads of trouble, but now I'm a delivery man and I drive super carefully. Everyone here is really nice, so come join us, baby. Okay, who is it? Is it Aiko? Is it Midori? Or is it Punpun? I don't know. I'm Big Bro Muho, sweet, pretty, lonely heart. I work as a... Fuck off, phone. I work as a math teacher at a famous cram school which shall remain nameless. I've known Pegasus since we were in college, so a long, long time. No need to be nervous. It's not that different from a college joke club. So jump right in. We enthusiastically welcome you. So, now it's your turn. Let's hear how you sound. Welcome to the Pegasus Ensemble. Who the fuck is that? Is that Midori? She's wearing striped leggings. Is it Kaie? Oh shit! It's the girl from class, the one that everybody says is really hot, but she's actually really ugly. I'm Yumi Numata. I'm starting at college in the spring, studying to become an accountant. I broke up with my boyfriend this winter, and I've just felt really unsettled. What's the point in living a useless What's the point of living in a useless world like this? But one night, I realized I was surrounded by a white light, and I had a revelation. Maybe the world isn't useless. Maybe it's me. The next day, Pegasus spoke to me on the street. His aura, his presence. I thought maybe this isn't a coincidence, and someone like this could be the god to guide me. Stop it. I'm not stupid enough to want someone calling me a god. Okay, Yumi. Actually, as of today, you are Princess Pussy. Wow. So the whole thing with pussy, pussy, pussy in the background comes around to here? That's weird. We will now perform a song for you. Oh boy. Great. Cool. I don't know what the fuck this is. Craziness, insanity, whipping around, conducting his orchestra of weird fuckers, and shooting a beam of light off into the sky from a rooftop. We aren't a religion or a self-help group. It's just an endlessly pure and innocent pursuit of love, peace, and humanity. 2 more to find in 2 years before it happens. Will you follow Pegasus? I want to see the moon flick. Good vibrations. So that's Toshiki, right? What the fuck, man? What the fuck? And this isn't the same cult as the other cult, right? What the fuck, man? Wow, that's a cool picture that Asano drew over, obviously. These are way different in their coloration. It looks like he got, did something that, or didn't use whatever filter he normally uses to some extent. Whoosh, Punpun sitting by the riverside, listening to music. I feel that, bro. Punpun was really unhappy about going to work. There was no particular reason why. He just felt overwhelmingly sluggish. Oh, too real. If someone pressed him for a reason, as long as they were okay with frivolous answers, he could come up with 10, 100, a million responses like, I'm feeling exploited, or my allergies are acting up. But he was pretty sure that that society called people who said things like that trash. Whoa, oh naughty, you asshole, you son of a bitch. Yo, Jiku-jian? I haven't seen you since graduation. How have you been? You look a little pale. Are you okay? Huh? You're taking walks every day? You're like a grandpa, man. Ever since I got into college, my dick hasn't had a chance to dry off. Well, that's the ideal I strive for every day. Why don't you forgo the no masturbation rule and turn off enlightenment for a night? Since you owe me for getting you this part-time job, let's find some girls and make them scream. Oh, he's still on that shit. So he's holding on to a stressor like that because of Kanye, right? Or because of his own actions with Kanye. He's holding on to a stressor like that, just like Yuichi did. So keep track of the passersby and make sure you get a correct count of them. That's it. Any questions? Oh, excuse me. What if someone is jumping up and down repeatedly in front of me? How many times do I count that? Okay, everyone to your stations. Thanks for your help. Lots of people passed by that day. Well, I have no intention of interfering with your philosophy of life, but don't you just feel just a little bad living off your mom's savings? Why don't you rent a room by yourself like me? I'm sure it would change your worldview. Among the pedestrians passing by were bound to be some with major problems at home, some with serious illnesses, or some depressed by irrevocable guilt. Woohoo! I just spotted a total hard-on, babe. Okay, I'll give her 2 points. The ones on either side of her are about half a point each, so together they're a point. And yet, there Punpun was, feeling unsettled for no reason. No, don't think anymore. For now, best to play the fool. I'm so bored. I am so bored something might just boil over. Oh, nothing! Tell me a funny story! For some reason, Punpun was following them as they went back and forth, as if he was clinging to something. Who was he looking for? No one would help him. No one would meet his gaze. Well, of course not. They were all confidently moving forward. Man, is he going to see Aiko? Even though a breath of spring was starting to seep into the breeze, Punpun was still hypersensitive to the north wind, wearing the scarf. Ding. Oh, shit. All it would take was a step or two. That's what he thought. But Punpun couldn't even cross the white line. That about summed him up. Same idea as Yuichi. Suicidal ideation. staring. But there was one thing Punpun could take away from the day. Repetitive tasks seemed to agree with him. He felt a little better now. He might be able to go a little harder tomorrow. That's what Punpun thought. The fact that Punpun had thought he could maybe go harder tomorrow for the last 3 days was a secret from everyone. Watch the double doors. Oh. That's her. That's her. Dink. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you alright? The doors are closing. Don't try to shove onto the tray. Whoosh. Whoosh. Beautiful as ever. More than ever. And the doors close beyond him. Okay, I gotta say, there's something that I love here. Got so much detail in this image of Aiko. Beautiful. Next frame, she's in the background. This guy, this rando, is in the foreground. Just as much detail. It's kind of great. It's also amazing that we frame these matches. Left Punpun, right Aiko. Left Aiko, right Punpun. It breaks the framing, right? But then, as we look at Aiko's face, we're brought to Aiko's face again. Brought into this section again. And even though this is center frame and so dark and so different from everything else in the frame, it just serves to wall us off visually from everything else and hone us in on exactly what we're supposed to be looking at. Exactly where Punpun's looking. At Aiko. Falling away from him outside the door. Aiko-da. Eyes sad. And she doesn't even see him, I don't think. Aiko-da! It's Aiko! It's Aiko! He squeezes out. Woo! Excellent! Doors are closing. Dash. Whoosh! Splat! Clonk. Running. Aiko! Gone. An opportunity disappears. Darkness falls over Punpun in the corner. He walks through the streets. He couldn't find Aiko. But one thing was clear to him. Aiko wasn't just a memory at the bottom of his mind. For the past several years, she had spent her time existing somewhere, just like he had. Pretty obvious. Yeah, but still. Aiko must be a proper grown-up now, unlike someone else Punpun knew, and live somewhere in town. $225 a month. What had he done in the last few years? He didn't have anything to lose. Nothing would happen if he just waited around. So what was he so afraid of? Everything happens while you wait around. Oh, hello there. Come in and have a seat anywhere you like. The studio for $225. Well, I can show it to you. I recognize this guy. You know how I recognize him? He's the guy who, when Seki went to help with a part-time job thing, he had the dead guy in his room. It's probably not the same apartment. Maybe it is, because it's cheaper. Well, I can show it to you. So he makes a choice. Out of the endless grind. This is true. This is truth. This is truth. It's true. It's just fucking true. Out of the endless grind, he spots a glimmer of light. In this case, a girl. It's often a girl for us boys. It's what happens. It's fair. It's happened to me. Spots a girl. But a glimmer of light, she's representative of something, as well as being a whole person. In this case, it's a rope. It's a way to climb out. It's a light at the end of an endless tunnel that has been nothing but rote, boring, lonely darkness. And he sees that light. And he seizes that light. And he seizes that rope. And he begins to move for the first time. Right? Because the thing about this endless cycle that he's in is that he's moving, obviously. He's going from place to place, doing the things that he needs to survive. But that's the thing we've talked about before. You're going to work to get the food, to eat, and to pay for your shelter, and to pay for the food. so that you can survive, so that you can go to work, so that you can get the money to pay for your shelter and pay for your food, with generally no dream of getting beyond that. And now there's a dream beyond it. Something out of reach that he wants to be in reach, right? Well, how do you get something that's outside the boundary of what you can accomplish to be inside the boundary of what you can accomplish? You can't bring it in, you have to bring yourself out, you have to expand. And so he's in a moment of expansion. Suddenly he's energized, suddenly he's running and rushing, even though he can't find her. The mere idea of something worthwhile in this world is enough to spark life back into him. As it did with Yuichi in some ways. That's fascinating, and I think it's deeply true. This is a cool opening to a section. We start with philosophy, we move into darkness, and we see a light at the end of the tunnel. What a cool way to start this first portion of this new omnibus volume of Oyasumi Punpun. As always, Punpun is excellent, and these chapters were shockingly uplifting. Even the depressing parts, which were just depressing because they resonate with depressing parts of my own life, were shockingly uplifting because they're talking about the ways that could be escaped. And Yuichi's whole talk is pretty uplifting too, because it's talking about powerful things that are valuable and useful and ways that you can, approach the world in a blunt and harsh, but strong and interesting and valuable way. Fantastic. Horrifying, because any positivity in Punpun I expect to be met with equal and opposite negativity, and we've already had enough negativity, so it's probably going to be really bad. We'll see when we get there. For now, I'm going to sign off. Thanks for watching. You can catch some more Punpun via early access on the Patreon, and if you like the video and want to talk about it at all, go ahead and give it a like, drop a comment, tell me what you think is about this chapter or how I've talked about it, and I'll see you next time for more Oyasumi Punpun. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.